following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the co-hosts are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! No, I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
Stand back. There's a podcast coming through. We are the Smackin' Raw podcast. Travis, thank you for fucking up my intro. And I am here, obviously, with Sir Custalot Travis Pointer.
What's happening?
And the real heel, Eric Siekr.
Yo.
I am your host, the Warden Matt Ritter. And this is our Wreslemania, our first Wreslemania predictions episode. So this will be a big one.
That's what she said.
Right off the bat, we got a week of professional wrestling. We've got Raw. We had Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Tuesday, NXT on Wednesday. Tomorrow night, they're doing on USA a Best of WrestleMania special. Friday is going to be the Hall of Fame, which you can then again watch on Saturday after NXT TakeOver on the network.
Hey, also on Friday, Kevin Nash is throwing a party.
Is it going to be streamed live via Facebook or somewhere we could watch it?
You're focusing on the wrong details here. All right.
Okay.
Kevin Nash is throwing a party in New Orleans.
Okay.
On Friday night.
Is he really?
Yes.
Chris Jericho's also throwing a party on Sunday after one of his concerts where he's going to watch the pay-per-view with everyone.
Oh,
so
that's nice of him.
Yeah, so for the people that couldn't go to New Orleans, they could go to his show. The show gets done right before the pay-per-view starts, and then they all hang out and watch the pay-per-view together.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, so for those of you who couldn't make it, couldn't pay for the WrestleMania tickets, you can pay to come to my show. And then
and then you can watch it.
You can give me money instead.
Hey, Also, obviously, Sunday is WrestleMania, and then the Andre the Giant documentary debuts on Tuesday. So check that out. I've already got it set to record. I'm looking forward to that. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
It's on HBO, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I found a couple interesting things out today. I don't know if they're true because Chris Jericho was drunk on his podcast. Just so you guys know, Travis will not be drunk this podcast. So if he seems a little off, it's because of the lack of alcohol. But Chris Jericho said that the reason that the sign for this year's WrestleMania just says WrestleMania, it doesn't say WrestleMania 34. We are no longer going to call it the granddaddy of them all or put numbers behind it because it makes WrestleMania seem old.
Wait,
he doesn't want it to seem old.
Wait, I lost you for a second. You said the reason why, and then I lost you.
The reason why they are no longer calling WrestleMania the granddaddy of them all.
Back some more. Like you said, it just says WrestleMania. And then...
Well, I'm going to get there. So they're no longer calling it the granddaddy of them all, and they're not putting a number behind this year's WrestleMania. So it's advertised as just WrestleMania, not WrestleMania.
Put the number
34.
behind it in years.
And the reason for that is because Vince feels that it makes WrestleMania seem old. He doesn't want it to be like the Super Bowl where it seems old and outdated.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I think Vince is just, having a midlife crisis, like late in life, and feel like people think he's old, so he's compensating.
Also, apparently the reason why America the Beautiful is always sung at WrestleMania as opposed to our national anthem is that Vince feels America the Beautiful is more representative of America than the national anthem.
It is.
So he does not like the national anthem. He prefers America the Beautiful. That's why we get America the Beautiful every year.
So in the XFL, they're going to do America the Beautiful instead of the national anthem?
We'll find out in 2 years.
Because that would be awesome.
It would be. All right,
Or they can do James Brown Living in America.
Yeah, we could do that too. Though I didn't get Xavier Woods dressed as Apollo Creed dancing to Living in America for the U.S. title. So now I feel like anything that I get with Living in America just isn't as good.
What if it happens, though, at the debut of the XFL, you get Xavier Woods, a.k.a. Austin Creed, performing Living in America for the opening day of the XFL.
Is there going to be a U.S. title match, though? Like, is it going to be for the U.S. title, or is it just going to be him dancing?
What if he already is the U.S. champ by then, and he just comes out there with the U.S. title belt?
That would be great. They've told us that the XFL and WWE will not be associated in any way, shape, or form, commentators or otherwise, this time around. But
Eh,
they say a lot of shit.
it's not until it's convenient for it to be so.
All right, so we're going to do things a little differently this time around because it is our first WrestleMania podcast, and I want to try a new format with these predictions.
Yes, I will do this podcast completely in the nude.
Well, that's not new, Travis. It'll just be new for the WrestleMania post show when people can actually see you in the nude. And then they'll know why I'm partially blind and have a hard time reading.
Yeah, pokes you right in the eye with it.
Through the NXT TakeOver card real quick, but then after that, we're going to talk about each match, and then we'll discuss the things that happen on Raw and SmackDown as pertains to each match, if anything interesting happens. So, first off, for all of the people who are listening who are NXT fans, or if you guys are interested in any of this shit, Andrade Cien Almas will be facing Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. We've got the Undisputed Era, which it sounds like is going to be Adam Cole stepping in for Bobby Fish because he's injured, against the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong and the United Kingdom's champion Pete Dunne in a triple threat tag team bout for the NXT tag team titles. We have the 6-man match. I believe it's a ladder match, but I could be wrong. But it's a 6-man match for the new North American Championship, which I posted a video of Triple H, showing everyone and talking. That's going to be EC3 versus Ricochet versus Lars Sullivan versus Killian Dane versus The Dream and versus Adam Cole. They said tonight Adam Cole has 2 options. He can let his Kyle O'Reilly can go in and wrestle that tag team match by himself. He can wrestle twice in one night, or he can drop out of the North American Championship match and just wrestle the tag team title match. My guess is he's going to wrestle twice in one night, but that's how they have it listed. We also have Shayna Baszler in a rematch against Ember Moon for the NXT Women's Championship. And last but not least, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. And I know Eric loves those names. That is an unsanctioned match because Johnny Gargano was banished from NXT after losing his match to Andrade Cien Almas. If Johnny wins, he will get his job back in NXT.
Unsanctioned?
Unsanctioned.
Are they having it in international waters?
No, it's unsanctioned because Johnny Gargano is not part of the NXT roster. He's not, quote unquote, officially signed.
Wait. So this match is unsanctioned by NXT, but somehow still has NXT repercussions and stipulations attached.
Yeah,
okay.
It's unsanctioned, but if he wins, he gets his job back.
And they're going to televise it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's unsanctioned. Yeah.
But, that is the NXT TakeOver card for Saturday. Anything on there that interests you guys?
What about the thing with the North American Championship? When's that happening?
That's at TakeOver. That's the EC3 versus Ricochet versus Adam Cole versus Lars Sullivan versus Killian Dane versus the Velveteen Dream match.
You said that already?
Yeah, that's a 6-man match.
I didn't even hear you. How did I not hear you say that?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I said it might be a ladder match, but I could be wrong. I think it's a ladder match.
I think they did say it was a ladder match. Yeah, I'm all for the Velveteen Dream winning this match.
I agree.
Just because he's one of the few NXT superstars, wrestlers, however you want to call it these days, whatever they're saying now. I can't keep up, but he's one of the few in NXT that I really watch. I'm just like, I'm with it. I get it. It's just he's interesting, unlike a lot of people who all just look the same to me.
I agree, and I am all for that as well. He has been very entertaining. One of the best matches of the year last year was my favorite NXT character who should be winning the NXT Championship at TakeOver, Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream. That match was awesome. Eric, you got anything about TakeOver?
I got nothing.
Other than when I say the names, it confuses. It doesn't sound like real words.
Yeah, it just sound. I don't know what you're trying to say.
All right, so let's get into WrestleMania. We're going to start off with AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura on SmackDown. We had a tag team match, AJ and Shinsuke versus Benjamin and Chad Gable. which AJ won with a phenomenal forearm.
Yeah, Chad Gable with garbage ass.
Yep, cost Shelton Benjamin another loss. I don't know, it was all right. You know, you take the two people and you put them in a tag match together to build tension. You can see there was tension there between them. It's going to be a good match. It might steal the show. I'm going Shinsuke. Travis, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Shinsuke as well on this one. I feel like they're really trying to go ahead and push him, so it's looking like he's gonna get that big win at Mania.
Okay, Eric.
Oh man, it's a really tough call, but
If it helps, Travis and I went Shinsuke. Kate and Phil went AJ.
yeah,
Oh, that doesn't help at all, sir.
it really does.
It depends on whose opinion he values more. If he values your opinion or Phil's opinion or my opinion or Kate's opinion.
Let's see, I think he did value my opinion until he found out that you agreed with me, and then it just ruined it all.
Well, I got to agree with the guy that writes the show, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna go with AJ.
All right, Eric's going AJ.
you're killing my credibility here, Matt.
Sorry about that. You should have told me you wrote the show. You let that loose. Next up, we got Charlotte versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship and Asuka's undefeated streak. On here, I also put Carmella cashes in just as a because. That's what Kate chose. I'm going to get her to pick one of the two because we always just leave that in as a bonus now because we don't fucking know what she's going to do with that title.
Oh, I do.
Phil went Asuka. I went Asuka. Travis, who you got?
I'm going to go with Asuka. It seems like that's the path they're on. And the whole cash-in thing, I don't think it's going to happen in Mania. Honestly, I think it's going to happen the Raw after Mania. I'll talk about that when we get to the women's title match. But go ahead.
Okay. Eric?
Raw women's title match.
Asuka. So that's probably going to be everyone for Asuka, I'm sure. Once I talk to Kate, she'll do that. As far as Asuka goes, her and Dana beat Mickie James and Alexa on Monday Night Raw, and then she came out after Charlotte beat Natty, and Carmella failed to cash in again on SmackDown, and they had a little stand down. The Raw and SmackDown before Mania doesn't really have a lot going on because they're kind of saving everything for Mania. So It was a little lackluster, but
I felt like an infomercial for WrestleMania.
Yeah, pretty much. But we did have Asuka on both shows. I thought Dana Brooke was a weird choice of a tag team partner for her, but then again, who else do you stick her with?
Yeah, on Raw, really nobody really there to.
I also I enjoyed the way that Carmella failed to cash in. Well, she didn't fail to cash in. She didn't get to cash in because Charlotte kicked the Money in the Bank briefcase out of the ring, out of the ref's hand. It was just like, no, fuck that, not happening.
It was pretty smooth. I like that.
Yes, it's a very Carmella way to not be able to cash in. Just
the next matchup we got for SmackDown. I know this is another one that's going to kind of divide everyone. We got the Usos versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers in a three-way dance for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Phil went with the Usos. Kate went with the New Day. I went with the Bludgeon Brothers. Travis, who you got?
I got the New Day in this one. I think it's time to give them their belts back.
Eric, what about you?
I'm going to go with the New Day as well.
All right. I'm going Bludgeon Brothers just because I feel like they've been building these guys and the title's been passed back and forth between the New Day and the Usos so much. It's time to get some new blood in there. And I think these are the guys after the Usos have had SmackDown locked down, the entire tag division. These are the two guys they haven't locked down yet. So I feel like it's an obvious choice to pass it on to them. But I'm apparently the only one that thinks that. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we got from the New Day, Usos, and the Bludgeon Brothers was a weird backstage promo where the Usos came and interrupted the New Day, plugging some shit, just kind of left, and then they smashed the camera with their hammers. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah, it was a whole. Well, this whole week was just a lot of. So,
Yeah.
All right, it's one of those. It's a case of, are we there yet? Like, can we just get to Mania? Because
Yeah, they're just on autopilot right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, can we just get to WrestleMania? All right, now this one, I put down an answer, but I'm divided. I'm going to hear you guys out on your thoughts on how this is going to go. I'm going to say my piece, and then I may change my answer from what I sent you guys because this is our final spot. So, if you guys told me something, you want to change it, now's the time. Owens and Zayn versus Bryan and Shane.
Well, originally I thought, Bryan and Shane, but the more I thought about it, the more I feel like there's going to be a betrayal here, and Owens and Zayn are going to get the W. Like, I was like, you kind of think that, Daniel Bryan Danielson would get that W in his first, match back, but
that's why I'm torn.
But they tried to bury that tension between Shane and Bryan too quickly to me. And I feel like it's going to rear again during that match, and it's going to be a betrayal, and Owens and Zayn are going to get that W.
And I think it's going to be Shane that betrays Daniel Bryan because he is too hot of a babyface for them to, especially coming back, for them to turn him heel against Shane. So I think Shane is going to turn on Daniel Bryan, cost Daniel the match, get Sammy and Kevin their jobs back on SmackDown, because really that's what this match is about. And I don't see them, not letting them get their jobs back in the first place. So I believe I originally had Bryan and Shane as well, but I did change it to Owens and Zayn. I'm going to agree with Travis on that. Eric, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going with Owens and Zayn as well. Pretty much for everything you just said.
Okay. Kate had Bryan and Shane, and Phil had Owens and Zayn. As far as SmackDown, did a nice little promo near the end of the show. Owens and Zayn showed up, hijacked the show, quote unquote, and then Daniel Bryan and Shane were like, "Nah, you know what? We're not going to let that happen," and pretty much kicked him out of the building. And really, that was it.
Yeah. Some more just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last up for SmackDown, the only thing that really happened this week on SmackDown pertained to this match. We've got Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal. I didn't have it on your list, so Travis, if you want to change your answer now, I did fix it on mine. Rusev and Bobby Roode. Phil, thank you for pointing out that I forgot to add Rusev to this list. So we got a fatal four-way for the United States title match. Rusev pinned Jinder Mahal on SmackDown. It's his second win in a row, or 2 weeks in a row. First win got him into the match. This one was over Jinder Mahal, and then Randy Orton came in and did some RKOing, and Bobby Roode hung out, and they kind of looked at each other, and he handed the belt. I'm going Randy Orton. Travis, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Jinder Mahal on this one. I think they're ready to go ahead and give him his heat back. They kind of been shitting on him lately, and Rusev's already hot without the belt. He doesn't need it. Jinder needs the belt to heat up, so I'm thinking to put it on him.
I agree. The reason I went Randy Orton is, and I talked about this I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't think every title's going to change, and I've got a lot of titles changing here. I feel like this is the one that they could kind of leave and it really won't affect anything. It's not a big deal. And they could still have Rusev go on a singles chase against Randy Orton, or still, do something with Jinder and Randy, or Bobby Roode and Randy. Like, they could go from here into a singles direction with one of those guys, leaving Randy the champion. That's why I went with Randy. Eric, who do you have for the Fatal 4-Way?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Randy Orton too. There's you might as well let Randy have it. You might as well give him the win at WrestleMania.
All right.
Anyone else winning that match isn't going to be a big deal, except Rusev, maybe. It would be pretty cool to see the audience pop for Rusev when he wins the U.S. title, but
yeah,
I'm going with Orton though.
Phil went with Rusev, and Kate also went with Randy Orton. So, that's pretty much it for SmackDown. That's it for SmackDown as far as straight up SmackDown matches. So let's get into Monday Night Raw and our main event for Monday Night Raw: Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Unless you throw us a curveball here, one of you two, I'm pretty sure we're all decided it's going to be Roman Reigns going over Brock. That's what I went with. That's what Phil and Kate went with. Travis?
Yeah, it's gonna be Roman Reigns, but I have a feeling there's gonna be a surprise on the Monday Night Raw following.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on what you think that surprise is going to be, or just a surprise? You're not sure.
It's gonna be a surprise that involves Brock. I think a certain somebody is going to show up on Raw to challenge Brock the next Monday night on Raw, which is why he's going to be losing that belt. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns. There's a small chance that Brock keeps it, but I don't think so.
I honestly, I don't care if there was a big chance Brock keeps it. I really, at this point, just need Brock to drop that title to somebody. And if it's going to be Roman Reigns, it's going to be Roman Reigns. I need it to happen. I'm sick of seeing him as champ. I'm sick of not seeing the title be defended. There are guys like Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and a whole litany of other guys on the roster who aren't even getting a chance because Brock is champ.
Yeah.
And at least with Roman Reigns carrying it, those guys will at least get a shot. They may not win it, but they'll have a chance.
Yep. And Brock
it sounds like he's going back to UFC anyway. So.
Yep. As
after
far
he fights
as
Bobby Lashley. Go ahead.
What was that, Travis?
Nothing.
You don't think he's going to go back to UFC?
I said after he fights Bobby Lashley, but go ahead.
Okay. And I'll take that as the person that Travis thinks is debuting the next night on Monday Night Raw as Bobby Lashley. We did have this whole Lesnar, Heyman, Roman Reigns thing. Kurt Angle wanted to protect his investment, begged and begged and begged Paul Heyman not to taunt Roman Reigns, did everything that he thought was in his power to prevent it, including having a bunch of Raw superstars come and stand out on the rampway to prevent Roman from coming down. I think that just kind of agitated Paul a little bit. So Paul taunted Roman Reigns, which is what Paul does best. As Travis said, he made Roman Reigns sound like a badass. He made Roman Reigns sound strong, but he still let us know no matter how badass or strong Roman Reigns is, Brock Lesnar's still badasser and stronger.
He just made up a word.
I did.
Yeah.
It was super funny when all of the wrestlers like parted for Roman.
Oh, after Roman called Brock a part-timer, he's like, "You're really going to get in my way for this part-timer?" And everyone's just kind of like, "Yeah, he's got a good point. Go ahead."
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Like one of the guys from the Revival, I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, they're
bald
interchangeable.
guy?
He had his hand on his heart. If you looked, like he was pledging allegiance to Roman.
They're interchangeable. It doesn't matter which one is which. You know.
Well, I know the difference. Was it the bald guy or the guy with hair, Eric?
The bald guy. Yeah.
So that would be Dash Wilder.
They're still the same guy.
Or I'm sorry, Scott Dawson. That'd be Scott Dawson.
See, he doesn't even know the difference. He just mixed them up himself. They're interchangeable. It's fine.
The most entertaining thing from that segment was we got a "Let's Go Roman" chant. There wasn't any boos for Roman, not that I heard anyway. I just heard a very audible "Let's Go Roman" chant that was very succinct, and this is what Vince has been wanting for the last couple of years.
Where were they though?
I don't remember.
That makes a difference because there's certain towns that they'll go ahead and cheer whoever you want them to cheer because they just
Yeah, I feel like they were in a shitty place this week.
I think I remember them saying SmackDown was in Nashville, but I don't know.
Yeah, SmackDown was Nashville.
Yeah, but I don't remember where
Raw was something else.
Well, our next match would be the Intercontinental title match. We got The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. As always, we had a really good match between Rollins and Balor, where Rollins went over Balor this time. So now it's 2-1 Balor. Rollins has got one win over Balor. Balor's got two over Rollins. There was a lot of talk about how, and I think we brought it up last week, The Miz was going to drop the title because of the birth of his child. I still think he's going to drop the title because of the birth of his child. I know Travis said Originally, he thought The Miz was going to hold on to the belt and break that streak for the Intercontinental Championship.
Mm-hmm. And you
haven't
know,
really been pushing the Mr. Monday Night thing with Seth Rollins very much, like they did when he first entered the match. And I feel like Balor's kind of in that we got to give him something point. So
yeah. And the thing is, like, you know, I keep going back and forth on this, but like, I think they want to put that belt on Rollins, but it's like, because you know, there's oftentimes the Raw after, you know, WrestleMania is bigger than WrestleMania, and this might be one of those times where, you know, Miz gets that win on Monday at WrestleMania, and then the next night on, or maybe not even gets the win, but somehow still retains for some reason, like the match gets thrown out or something like that, and they redo the match on Raw, and then so he'll still be champ come Monday Night Raw, and then he drops the belt. You know what I mean?
Well, are you going with Rollins or are you going with Miz?
Well, I got Miz retaining, so yeah.
Okay. I will make that change. Eric, who are you going with?
He needs to keep it until after WrestleMania to get that reign, right?
I believe so, yes.
He's pretty close, right?
I don't know how many days he's held it, or how long you'd have to hold it through WrestleMania to beat the streak. So
I think he's gonna retain.
all right, Eric's gonna go with retain. Kate and Phil. Well, Phil also went with The Miz, and Kate went with Finn Balor as well. So nobody's going Seth Rollins.
I was close to going Seth Rollins, but it's just, yeah.
You guys have any thoughts on that Finn Balor Seth Rollins match or anything that happened on Raw?
No, I mean, it's not like, okay, it was predictable in a good way, as in I knew they'd give us a good match, so I enjoyed it. But it was just like, okay, we've done this already. That's enough. Let's just, you know, once again, are we there yet? Like,
Eric, you just agree? Nothing?
Yeah, there's nothing really stood out to me on Raw. Just a banner running down the bottom of the page, telling everybody to sign up for the WWE Network. That's what I remember.
yeah. Did they point at the WrestleMania sign any time during this show? I don't remember.
A couple of times, I think.
Yeah, they did a couple times. I think it was actually at the end of this match, maybe. And then
here's the thing: it's one of those things like you don't know where they did it, but you're positive they did because they always do. So it's like, did they? Well, I guess they did. I don't know. Yeah, that's why I was asking.
All right, so now again, kind of like when we were talking about the Randy Jinder Rusev thing and how that was kind of probably the most entertaining part of SmackDown that actually had something to do with the pay-per-view. This was probably the most entertaining part of Raw, at least in my opinion. We had Braun Strowman take on Sheamus, but he said he had a partner.
That wasn't Braun, man. That was his tag team partner, all right?
Yeah, his tag team partner, Brain, his brother Brain. So we had Braun and Brain. He went in the back, and out came a man that looked very, very similar to Braun Strowman.
What do you mean? He looked nothing like him, Matt. He had glasses, all right? That guy had glasses.
It looked very similar to Braun Strowman if Braun Strowman was a Dudley boy.
I have no idea what you're talking about. This guy wore glasses. Braun Strowman does not.
He also had a button-down shirt that he ripped off, and then just so happened to have the exact same ring gear as Braun on underneath.
Well, the guy clearly admires Braun Strowman as a competitor.
Yeah, so Brain beat Sheamus. They keep telling us Braun has to have a partner. They have not told us who his partner is. I don't know if it's going to be a surprise. I've heard rumors it could be Rey Mysterio. I've heard rumors it could be Elias. It could be Bray Wyatt. We're not going to find out until Sunday, and I'm not going to try and predict. I already know Travis says it's not going to happen. We'll find out. I hope he's right, but I think they're going to give him a partner. We'll just have to see.
Listen, they've given him a partner. He already has a partner. Who is his partner, Matt?
That partner
who is his partner, Matt? Who is his partner?
Brain.
No. These hands.
He can't tag these hands.
He can
These
tag
hands can't be outside the ring to take a tag.
Yeah, they can.
No.
Yeah, they can. He just has to go over to the corner, put one arm outside the ring, slap it, and he's good.
Travis does not write for Ross, so do not take these hands as Braun's tag team partner.
I'm trying to tell y'all.
Remember,
I said this multiple times.
I've got Braun Strowman and his mystery partner winning. So does Kate and Phil. Travis, who you got?
I got Braun Strowman in these hands winning the tag team titles.
Eric?
Yep.
All right. Travis, let me ask you a question.
You can ask all the questions you want, sir.
If Braun Strowman does have a tag team partner and he is not a solo act, would you be willing to take a loss on that because he did not tag with these hands and they had a partner and you've been so adamant about him not having a partner for the last few weeks? Would you take the loss if he actually had a partner?
If he actually has a partner, sure, I'll take the L.
Okay.
If they actually have another person come out as his tag partner, sure.
Okay. I'm going to mark that down as a special note. Next up,
unless it's James Ellsworth.
I have heard that rumor too.
I say unless it's James Ellsworth. If it's James Ellsworth, that doesn't count. All right.
Okay. Fair enough.
James Ellsworth does not count as a partner. But go ahead.
I will take that. Nia Jax had a match against Mickie James, and then she beat Mickie James. This all leads up to Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. I also put Carmella cashes in because we have discussed we don't know if Carmella can cash in on Raw or not. But out of the two matches, it would make more sense for her to cash in on Raw than it would SmackDown because of Asuka. So I went with Nia. Travis, who do you got?
Well, originally I had Nia, but then I thought about the cash in some more, and I'm like, I think Alexa's going to get that win, and then Carmella cashes in on her Monday night.
So you're going to go Alexa for the win?
Yeah.
All right. Eric, who you got? Are you going to go against your girlfriend?
Wait. Do I get the point if Carmella cashes in on Raw? Because I'm saying that.
No, because it's not WrestleMania. That's the next night. Next night don't count.
But I'm correctly predicting the cash in, and it's like on here.
Monday Night Raw. So I'll tell you what. If we did a Monday Night Raw predictions, I would give you the point out for Monday Night Raw, but you don't get it for WrestleMania because it does not happen at Mania.
So what? So how about this? What if it's a tie between me and somebody else, then Monday night Carmella cashes in, do I get the W?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay. I'll take that.
I'll give you that. We'll use that as a tiebreaker if it comes down to you and one other person or two other people or whatever. And she does cash in on Monday Night Raw. That'll be the tiebreaker, and we'll talk about it on the podcast that Wednesday. Sorry, Eric, you were saying you're going with
Alexa.
Wait, before you start talking, let me tell. No, I'm just kidding.
You're going to go with Alexa.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone's going with Alexa but me. Phil and Kate also went Alexa. I'm going Nia Jax. I feel like it's her time. She's been on the cusp of being the champion for a while. I feel like this is her moment. I don't feel like there's any other way to pay off this feud between her and Alexa than having her win. I mean, there is a possibility that she's just so pissed off she gets herself disqualified and Alexa retains. If that's the case, that's still a win for Alexa. You guys still get the point.
What if my prediction comes true, Carmella cashes in on Raw, but like something happened where Alexa retained and she was supposed to get a rematch on Raw, but Carmella cashes in on her, and then she ends up facing Carmella versus Nia Jax on Raw, and then Nia wins the title on Raw. You follow me?
Why? Yeah, I follow you, but what does that have to do with anything?
All I'm saying is you can still pay off that thing with Nia with her, ending up with the belt, just not at Mania.
It's not paying off her ended up with the belt. It's paying off her getting her hands on and then beating Alexa for the one thing Alexa prides herself the most on and loves the most, and taking it away from her after all Alexa's abuse over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think she can.
It's about her beating Alexa. It's not about her winning the title. Though I do think it's been a long time coming, and I think it would be good for the WWE to put a title on a woman like Nia.
Is it more important for her to win the belt, or is it more important for her to actually get her hands on Alexa?
Storyline purposes, get her hands on Alexa.
Exactly.
I'm still going Nia. Eric, just so you know, if you want, you can add in a cash in for either the Raw match or the SmackDown match. And if it happens in either match, it won't take points away from you if it doesn't. But if it does, we'll add an extra point if you happen to be tied. Kind of like what Travis is doing for Monday Night Raw.
I kind of like the Carmella theory that Travis just put out there.
You can't take Travis's theory. He picked Monday Night Raw. That's his own tiebreaker. You cannot tag onto that because then it's no longer a tiebreaker.
Well, what did you pick?
I'm going to go with her cashing in on Monday Night or on during the Alexa Nia match.
Well, then he only has one other choice.
Yeah, you're
Well,
boxing
not
me in.
necessarily. Not necessarily, because if he picks the same thing I do, and he's tied with you, and she does cash in at WrestleMania, he still beats you or Kate or Phil.
Okay, but if he picks what I picked and he's tied with you, he still get the win. So why does that matter? If you why stop him from picking what I picked?
Because I'm only giving you that because you came up with it. I'm not making that an option for everyone. It was your theory, so it's your one thing.
I'll let you have that win. It's the only time I'll concede to you. Just know that. All right.
Okay. I was just giving Eric the option to pick if he thinks the cash-in is going to happen at Mania and what match he thinks is going to happen in. That's all. John Cena, The Undertaker. Not only did we not get a Braun Strowman tag team partner announcement, we did not get The Undertaker on Monday Night Raw.
Told ya.
John Cena is going to WrestleMania, quote unquote, as a fan, as Travis said. Probably at some point during the show, get in the ring, call out The Undertaker, or maybe even say, you know what, I've been calling out The Undertaker. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should be calling out the man and talk shit about Mark Calloway, at which point Mark Calloway, a.k.a. The Undertaker, comes out and they have that match. Regardless, I still believe this match is going to happen, so we're still going to predict for it. If by some miracle they do not have a John Cena Undertaker match or a John Cena Mark Calloway match, it won't count against anyone as a loss. But we're doing the predictions. I went Undertaker. Kate and Phil went Undertaker. Travis?
I badly want to pick John Cena just to fuck with you, but I'm going to go Taker.
Yeah, Taker. Totally.
Like, I feel like very few things would anger you as much as John Cena beating The Undertaker.
You know what?
After he lost to Roman Reigns last year.
I was just going to say, after losing to Roman Reigns and after losing to Brock Lesnar, which honestly, losing to Brock Lesnar made me more mad than it would be if he lost to John Cena. That really pissed me off.
Well, that was the end of the streak, though. That's different.
It had nothing to do with the end of the streak. The streak could have ended. I just didn't want it to end with him. There were so many better choices than Brock Lesnar, in my opinion. And that's my humble opinion. But anyway, we're not going to get in that. That's a whole nother fucking rant. We're all going The Undertaker. Like I said, Cena came out, talked some more shit, ran his mouth, called The Undertaker out, said, we've tried it. Oh, hey, we haven't tried it here. Let's try it one more time. Nothing. No gong, no lights, no nothing.
Yeah, man. Being a little bitch.
Fuck you. Last match for Monday Night Raw. This one also has me a little bit torn. I'm going to make a very, I guess, in my opinion, controversial decision here. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie and Triple H. I'm going to go Stephanie and Triple H, and here is why. We have seen in the past that when it's the right thing to do and it makes the most sense and Triple H is involved, Triple H still wins, even if it's not the right thing to do and it makes the most sense for him to lose. He still wins because he's Triple H. And the speech that they gave during their little press conference about how they make the rules and they're going to crush Ronda Rousey and then build her back up from nothing, and her not having this wrestling background and her seeming a little green in the ring, I think Stephanie and Triple H might actually get the win here, even though it's Ronda's first match. And then they bring her in with a loss and build her up from nothing. Stephanie even made that comment about we all know how Ronda handles losses. So I'm going Stephanie and Triple H. Kate and Phil went Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. I see why. Travis?
I agree, Kurt Angle and Ronda. But if they lose, I think that it'll be Triple H getting the pin on Kurt. So that, like I said, you can talk about how Ronda doesn't handle loss very well, and she can blame Kurt for the loss, and that kind of thing will happen, But
you're still going Kurt Ronda.
Yeah, I'm still going Kurt Ronda. It's just if they lose, though, I think Kurt would take the pinfall.
Eric?
I might regret it, but I'm going to go with you on this one, Matt.
All right.
You'll learn one day. You'll learn.
That.
You will learn one day.
Hey, listen, after I watched Triple H beat Sting in his first WWE match at WrestleMania, and the fact that they went to Saudi Arabia and he went over Jinder Mahal in Saudi Arabia, I have no faith that Triple H will go to no lengths to put himself over whenever possible just because he's fucking Triple H. He's in this match. I'm going Triple H Steph.
Dude, first of all, you could be on any country on the planet and have Jinder Mahal versus Triple H, and Triple H is going to win.
Even when Jinder's the champion in India?
What is Saudi Arabia is not India. Those are two different countries.
I'm sorry, I believe they were in India. I was saying Saudi Arabia because of the greatest Royal Rumble, which is going to be in Saudi Arabia. I believe I have that mixed up. Regardless, they were over in India. He was WWE champion, and Triple H still beat him in the match.
Oh man, there's not a country on the planet where Jinder Mahal goes over Triple H.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Can't happen.
In the end, he's still Jinder Mahal. But, and then as far as that Sting loss goes, once he wasn't facing The Undertaker, it didn't matter what the fuck happened. I didn't care. So that's
still not right.
That's why they were able to get away with that shit, because nobody gave a fuck anymore. It was just yeah, you're not facing Taker, so why are you even here? Go home.
I still cared. That's not true. You can't say nobody. But
yeah,
anyway,
you don't count
Ronda,
though, so nobody cared.
Ronda and Kurt and Triple H and Steph had that press conference, which ended with Triple H clocking Kurt over the head with a microphone, Ronda choking Kurt Angle, which I have got to say I am fairly impressed with the amount of physical offense that Ronda Rousey has had on Triple H throughout this whole thing.
Yeah.
Choking him almost down to a knee, putting him through a table, so on and so forth. Normally, you don't see the women beating on the men and dominating, especially Triple H, the way that Ronda Rousey has. I'm wondering if maybe she'll bridge the gap between the men and women's division, kind of like Chyna did back in the 90s where she was wrestling for the IC title.
Yeah, it's funny because, when you mentioned Chyna, she wrestled in the men's division before she even wrestled any women. So,
yeah. But Stephanie kind of did like a backdrop choke slam on Ronda through the table.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, well, okay. Down goes Ronda.
Ronda looked like she wasn't sure quite how to act while she was lying there.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm like, they need to not zoom in on her face. Do not do that again.
She looked angry, and she was sitting up and kind of glaring at Stephanie, but didn't want to move because she knew she was supposed to be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was awkward.
Ronda needs polishing, which is why, again, I think she might lose at WrestleMania. But anyway.
Plus, I think that also tells a great story. I mean, that's the story they're telling anyway, right? She loses, and then it's a story of losing and then putting the pieces back together and moving on with your life.
And she wants to start from the bottom. She doesn't want to be given anything, and the only way to start from the bottom is start with a loss and work your way back.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say if she does lose, I still, I need her managed by Paul Heyman.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do not see Stephanie McMahon pinning Ronda unless Triple H hits Ronda with a pedigree.
Yeah.
And Stephanie slides in.
No, I said I need her managed by Paul Heyman, no matter what happens.
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
By somebody. She just kind of trailed off in her promo on Monday night. Like, what was she trying to say? She just like fucking trailed off.
I don't know.
Well, she trailed off, and Kurt cut her off. He's like, I'll take it from here.
Yeah, like, yeah, you fucking up. Let's move on.
Yeah, so like I said, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This one's Predictor's Choice. I'm going with Matt Hardy. I feel like, nothing really happens to the winner anyway. He doesn't really get much of a push. And Matt Hardy, and of the announced people, and I know, Travis, your pick is not an announced person.
Nope.
And I understand your pick. But of the announced people, I feel like he is, quote unquote, one of the top tier stars in that match. And I think he's going to go over. Travis, who you going with?
I'm going with Big Cass. I'm going with a returning Big Cass. He's 7 foot
That's
tall.
what I was thinking, actually.
He's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that.
You're going to go Big Cass as well?
Yep.
All right. Eric's going to go Big Cass. Kate also went Big Cass. And Phil says Drew McIntyre coming up from NXT, returning from his injury. I can see that as well. I want to make a correction, by the way. Earlier I said that Nia beat Mickey when we were talking about the women's match. That I was reading last week's paper, and I shouldn't have it here. So I'm going to fold that up and tear it up. Nia had a promo, an interview backstage. Mickey was in that match with Alexa against Asuka and Dana. So, yeah, all Nia had was a promo this week. There was no her beating Mickey. That was last week, and I'm sorry I misread that. I know Phil would have listened and called me out on it, so I'm going to correct that now. Women's Battle Royal, still unnamed, which, by the way, Chris Jericho mentioned on his podcast that he texted Vince McMahon he should change it to the Sensational Invitational for Sherry Martel, and Vince just responded back, THX. And that was it. Thanks.
Oh, I'm like, the fuck is THX? I've never known Vince to know to use abbreviations in text messages.
You guys text a lot?
On occasion.
Yeah.
I also, before we get into those picks for the women's, I wanted to mention we did have an 8-man tag team match that involved the Andre the Giant Memorial contestants on SmackDown, which Baron Corbin won that match. But I think the big surprise was
broken clock is right twice a day. Go ahead.
There was a cologne in that match. I'm not sure if it was Epico or Primo because I can't tell them apart. But one of the Cologne brothers
in
that tag team match.
You trying to say all Cubans look alike?
No, I'm saying those two are brothers and they look very similar and I can't tell them apart.
Good, because they're not Cubans, they're Puerto Rican.
Exactly.
Or are they Cuban? Which one is it, Matt? Do you know?
They're Puerto Rican.
They're Cuban. They're actually Cuban. Matt.
Or are they Puerto Rican? Which one are they? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure they're Puerto Rican. Regardless.
They're obviously Cuban, man.
That did happen. Baron Corbin won.
You monster.
Even though they've been promoting Puerto Rico, Carlos Colon has a promotion in Puerto Rico. They're from Puerto Rico. They're obviously Cuban. That's what you're telling me?
People got places all over the place.
Okay. Anyway, back to the Women's Battle Royal match. I'm going with Bayley. I know Travis mentioned it last week. Last two contenders are probably going to be Bayley, Sasha. Travis, who you got?
I'm going with Sasha.
Eric.
Oh, man. I think I'm going to go... That's tough, man. It's got to be Sasha or Bayley.
Well, Phil went with Becky.
Both of them.
Kate went with Sasha. No. One or the other. One or the other.
Could happen.
This isn't the Royal Rumble where two people are going over the top rope and both get the win. I don't even think this match is for anything. It's just to have. So there's no point in having them both win.
It's not for anything?
Not for a title match.
It's for a trophy.
Yeah.
just like
that eventually somebody will hit somebody with and break it.
Right.
A trophy that remarkably looks a lot like a uterus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted a picture of it on the Smackin Raw page, and it's like the picture of the trophy, and then this guy's face, and then a picture of a uterus.
Yeah, I saw that.
So who are you going with?
I'll go with Bayley.
All right, Eric's going Bailey. Because you think she needs the win more than Sasha?
Yeah, I mean she's she's had a low point for a while now. I think if
I
they
could
could
see
turn
that.
that around with this win, might as well give it to her.
All right, and then we had the tournament to determine the two contenders who will compete for the Cruiserweight Championship that culminates at WrestleMania. The final contenders are Mustafa Ali, who is from Chicago, and Cedric Alexander. I went Cedric Alexander. Kate went Cedric Alexander. Phil went with the hometown boy, Mustafa Ali. Travis, who you got?
The black guy.
Cedric Alexander. Eric, who you got?
Cedric Alexander.
All right. Yeah, just for those of you listening, if you haven't noticed, anytime Travis doesn't care about something or doesn't watch something, his choice is just the black guy.
Yup.
All right, so that takes care of everything. I mean, we had some Sasha Bailey issues on Raw, which, parlayed into our talk about the Women's Rumble, or the Women's Battle Royal, because it's not a Rumble, it's a Battle Royal. And for those of you who don't know the difference, is everyone's in the ring at once instead of getting separate entrances and coming in at time intervals.
Yep.
Yeah, thankfully so, because then it goes a lot faster and it's over. We can move on.
The only other thing that happened on Monday Night Raw that I'm sure Eric wanted me to touch on that probably wasn't on the Hulu version is Elias beat Heath Slater.
Oh, nice.
Maybe at WrestleMania we can get Santino and Santina in the Battle Royals.
That'd be great. That'd be good. I know he's retired, but
I don't give a fuck.
In wrestling, being retired doesn't mean anything.
Not a damn thing.
Mixed match challenge happened on Tuesday. It was the finals. The Miz and Asuka beat Bobby Roode and Charlotte, the Robe Warriors. We knew that was going to happen because they have been touting to us how if the Miz were to lose that match, it would break Asuka's undefeated streak, which still makes no fucking sense to me.
Stupid.
So Rescue Dogs Rock, which was the Miz and Asuka's charity, got the $10,000 prize because they won. I feel like it was kind of a foregone conclusion by putting Asuka in there, and I hope they don't do something similar next time they do this. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was fun. There was a cool dynamic. We had some good matches, some entertaining stuff. I liked the mic'd up ring so you could hear more of the interactions between the wrestlers as they taunted each other and everything that went on. It was an interesting little tournament.
Yeah, it's one of those things that works for Facebook, but maybe not work so well for TV if they tried that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Eric, any thoughts on the mixed match challenge?
I haven't seen any of the newer episodes.
All right. There's not a whole lot. Like, there's nothing where it'd be like, oh, that's when you got to check out, except anything with Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman, because that was just pure gold.
Yeah.
So go check out all the Alexa Bliss Braun Strowman matches. Becky and Bobby Roode last week was fairly entertaining when she took Charlotte's spot. This one was just it was a Charlotte and Asuka versus Miz and Bobby Roode tag team match. Nothing real special going on. We knew Asuka was going to win. It kind of puts a damper on it when you know that they're not going to break her streak right before WrestleMania. So you know what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah.
All right, so based on everything that we talked about from the two shows, or if you just want to going into WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw, who is winning, Eric?
Strowman.
All right, Travis?
For me, on Monday night, the winner was Ready Player One. It's an awesome movie that I saw on Monday, for real, winning on Monday Night Raw, I'm gonna go with Stephanie.
I was going to go with Stephanie as well. She put Ronda Rousey through a table.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more winning than that.
Yeah. Except for in Ready Player One, because that movie was fucking awesome.
Was it good? Because I want to go see it.
It was so fun.
I'm very entertained by the
so
commercials.
fun. It was so fucking fun, and I'm just I want to talk about it. So hurry up and watch it. Like, go see it now. What are you doing?
Okay.
Why are we still doing this? Go to the theater.
I'm finishing up the podcast. Who's losing on Raw, Eric?
Heath Slater.
Because he lost to Elias. I can agree with that. I can see that.
Heath Slater is always losing.
Travis, who you got?
I'm going with Roman because once again, even though he tried to be big and bad and like, move out my way so I can go get him, left him laying again.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that. So he hit like 5 or 6 Superman punches. No spear for some reason, but a bunch of Superman punches. And then Brock got up and just F5'd him and took off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we see that's the thing. He didn't do any spears, which is weird because Goldberg has showed us that Brock is vulnerable to the spear.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Probably what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He can't handle those spears.
Yeah, again, he's still not all the way recovered from that diverticulitis or whatever that shit is.
Diverticulitis, which is what Shane is recovering from as well going into this match, quote unquote. I'm going to go with Sheamus and Cesaro because for the last 3 weeks, including this week, they cannot get a win over Braun Strowman on his own. And I'm not sure how they plan on winning at WrestleMania when they cannot beat this man after 3 weeks.
Well, they've been facing him one-on-one, so...
Yeah, yes and no, because they've also tried to jump him after the match, and he still cleans their clocks and lays them out.
Well, yeah, but he does that to everybody. So.
He was actually kind of taking care of both of them during the singles match without them getting disqualified by laying people out. So they cannot get one over on Braun Strowman, whether it's a tag or a singles. I'm going to go with Sheamus and Cesaro. Eric, who is winning on SmackDown? Yeah, this is a tough one because not shit happened.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the only two. Go ahead.
AJ, I guess.
That's what I was gonna say. Okay. I'll go with the phenomenal one as well.
I'm gonna go with Baron Corbin because he won that 8-man tag match, and it's very rare that Baron Corbin gets a win on SmackDown, and I can pick him, so I'm gonna pick him.
Oh, I don't even remember that happening.
Yeah,
it was so forgettable.
There was an 8-man tag team match. Baron Corbin picked up the win in that match.
I probably fell asleep at that point.
It's like another one of those wins that kind of feels like a loss.
Another good choice would have been Rusev getting that win over Jinder, but who's losing on SmackDown?
I'm gonna go with Carmella fucking up that cash in again.
All right, Eric.
I
already know what's coming. Go ahead.
What?
Go. Just do it. Go ahead.
I'll go with Baron Corbin.
Matt has his middle finger up, people.
Win, but I totally forgot about it.
In case you all were wondering, as Matt was saying, go ahead. He had the middle finger up.
I could see the look on Eric's face. I knew what he was going to say.
My face doesn't have any looks.
Oh, it does.
Just one look.
No, you've got this smart-ass smirk that when you think you're doing something clever just stretches across your face. I'm going to go with Carmella as well, Travis. I like that. You know, she keeps failing. She doesn't really fail to cash in. She just can't ever get the cash in to start.
Yeah.
She's failing even to initiate the cash in repeatedly. So I'm going to go with that. All right. So that is it for this week's podcast, guys. Please check us out at our Facebook page. It's www.facebook.com/groups/SmackinItRaw. Also, please tune in to check us out immediately, Travis, immediately following WrestleMania.
Yeah, pretty soon. It's going to take some time to set things up right afterwards. But
probably about 10-15 minutes after WrestleMania concludes and we get everything set up, maybe half an hour.
Yeah, 30 minutes at the most.
Yeah, say about 30 minutes. Tune in on Facebook to the Creation Magazine Facebook page. You can find us there live talking about the pay-per-view. Eric's going to try and call in.
Yeah, he's going to try, but he won't be able to.
We'll have a special guest that if you guys hadn't listened to the podcast where I blew it, hey, surprise guest. Travis, anything else you want to plug real quick?
Just a super flashy arrow of tomorrow every week. Creation Conversation will be returning, I believe, next week. That's about it.
All right. That is it for this podcast. Say goodnight, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
We are Smackin' It Raw, and we are that damn good.